Hey everyone, thank you all so much for the support in the last couple videos, it really means a lot. I also make music on the side, so if you want to check it out, the link's in the description. No pressure at all, but I really appreciate it.
So I pop up, and I shoot out my own windows. They give you these beater Ford Tauruses. I shoot out my own windows, and I go bang bang, and I get it. So they sound this air horn, which means, weapons down, so you holster your weapon. And the guy, the instructor, comes out, he goes, "Well, you passed. But damn it, Kiriakou, you just cost me $900 in broken windshields."
I said I couldn't get a clean shot. I'm sorry. We did this one exercise, it was at night. We drew straws to see who would go first, and I went first.
And I said, "Warden, with all due respect,
I've gone nose to nose with al-Qaeda, with Hezbollah, with the Iranians, and you want me to be afraid of you? Give me some credit." He said, "Yeah, we'll see what you say when you spend some time in solitary." I said, "I've lived in Yemen, in Pakistan."
I'm not afraid of your Loretto, Pennsylvania solitary. Besides," I said,
Go ahead and send me to solitary. CNN's going to be waiting for you next to your car in the parking lot. And I just looked at him. I never went to solitary. Not for a minute. And he loved to eat sausage.
all kinds of sausage.
So we all huddled together like, okay, he's coming for an official visit. What do we do?
Stuff him full of sausage until he can't eat any more sausage.
He can't hold any sausage. And then Clinton invites him to play chess.
The sausage is
Gonna make him drowsy.
And when he gets drowsy, he gets chatty to keep himself awake. Pretty cool, huh? Or pretty neat, huh? And then when Epstein was going to be in Washington, she repeatedly went back to him saying, "Let me set up a lunch with John Brennan. You're going to like John Brennan. Let me set up this lunch with John Brennan." We don't know if they had ended up having lunch, but she was working very hard to get John Brennan together with Jeffrey Epstein.
Why?
Oh, I've gone through so many of these documents. It's 100% fact now that Epstein was working for the Israelis, but he doesn't appear to just have been an Israeli access agent. It looks like he had sort of offered himself up to the CIA, to MI6, to MI5, to maybe the Germans. There could have been other services as well. And then we learned, just a few days ago, that his attorneys actually sought confirmation from the CIA and from the National Security Council that Epstein was acting as an informant.
Who did you not at all trust, even though you had to work with them?
The Israelis.
You didn't trust them?
Not as far as I could throw them.
You, or was that a cultural thing?
It was cultural. We don't allow the Israelis into CIA headquarters because they would always come with gifts, and the gifts had always listening devices packed inside them. And, somebody brings you a gift, you x-ray it. It's a normal process. And we're like, you guys can't keep coming back here every single time trying to bug our conference rooms. So, no more.
And was it easy to x-ray and see that they had bugs in them?
Yeah.
What percentage of the time did gifts have bugs in them?
100%.
Be quiet.
No, seriously.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely not. I wish I was.
100% of the time they brought gifts had bugs in them?
Yeah. And we're like, okay, no more. You can't come on campus anymore.
Will you guys joke about it with them? You're like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What is this?
We
So was it like a joke?
Come on, you guys. No, they were serious. They were hoping one would slip through. The Greeks just broke the group accidentally in 2002. One of the terrorists was carrying a bomb in a paper bag that he was going to put under the car of a Greek ship owner in Piraeus.
And the bomb went off prematurely and it blew his hands off and it blew his right eye out.
And so he thought he was dying, and he confessed to everything and gave up the location of the guns and the bombs and the safe house and the names of all the other members.
And then he lived.
A motorcyclist, and he's trying really hard to stay in my blind spot. And I thought, that's kind of odd. So I speed up and he speeds up. I slow down, he slows down. I move over a lane, he moves over a lane. My wife calls me and she said, "Are you nervous?" I said, "Yeah, nervous enough."
Then I think I'm gonna hit him.
I'm gonna try to hit him. And she said, "Okay." So I hung up and I sped up and he sped up, and then I slammed my brakes as hard as I could and I swerved right to hit him. And I
Barely missed him.
So we did this a couple of times. And then there's this enormous intersection. So I was like, okay, you're trained for this. So I pull my gun out. I put the car in park first. I pull the gun out. I get out and I said,
What do you want, you son of a bitch?
and he goes like this. He smiles at me and he goes,
I'm not afraid of your gun.
and I thought,
Oh my God.
like, that's not the response that you're trained to expect. So I thought,
Okay, I either have to kill him.
I hope I'm not speaking out of school, but Kofar loved the Pakistani accent.
So he would talk like this all the time, sir. I am loving you too much, Mr. Kofar. You're a good man, sir. They would say, there was a great hue and cry.
And Kofar's like, wait a minute. Are you saying there was a great hue and cry? And they're like, yes, sir. Not just the hue, is what you're saying.
It was the hue and the cry.
And they're looking at each other like, what is he talking about? And he's like, I love doing that to them. I love it. It's so much fun.
I remember just being fascinated when I was still in the CIA with a group of al-Qaeda fighters whom we saw training at a camp. So we're watching these guys train. We're sending
Buddy on that bus.
That's how you prevent the next 9/11. I remember just being fascinated when I was still in the CIA with a group of al-Qaeda fighters whom we saw training at a camp. So we're watching these guys train. We're sending drones and we're watching with satellite photos, and they're doing like physical training, push-ups and climbing over walls and learning how to throw grenades. And then we see them in pictures, doing shooting training and all kinds of stuff. And I asked my boss, why don't we just send in a team and take these guys out? They're training to kill us. And he said to me, be patient, young man. What we ended up doing was we waited until they completed their training, and they all literally got onto a bus to drive to Iraq to carry out attacks on U.S. forces.
And we droned the bus.
We sent 2 missiles in. We
Vaporized everybody on that bus.
That's how you...
I'd never taken down a terrorist safe house before.
Right, and not to cut you off, but why wouldn't the agency have the ground branch guys do that? Or
Because the ground branch guys...
Only know how to kill people.
Seriously. Sorry, ground branch guys. You're great at what you do, but the idea was to take people alive.
what about okay, so Abu Zubaydah, we'll get into this, I don't want to get ahead of it, but he was the number 3 in al-Qaeda at the time, or we believed he was.
Right.
So what about JSOC? What about one of the special operations unit? Why have a fucking case officer? And not to say that you're not smart and capable.
You're completely correct. Yes, why not? Because it was chaos in Washington. Chaos. Listen, on 9/11, as I was driving back, I saw the White House Senior Director for Middle Eastern Affairs
Walking with no shoes.
to try to get to a subway to get home. That's what kind of chaos there was in Washington.
With no shoes.
We got into an argument, and I called him a
Racist.
Which he was.
He was so angry. His face got all red, he clenches his teeth, and he balls up his fists, right? And I thought to myself, I went too far. And I put up my hands to protect myself, because I thought, here it comes. And he's gonna knock me out. This is how strong and tough he was. I put up my hands, and he goes,
My penis is
Bigger than yours.
and I said, what?
And he goes, my penis is
bigger than yours.
And I said, you know what?
You're nuts, and I quit. And I walked out, and I quit.
The Counterterrorism Center came up to me and said, very offhandedly, hey, I'm so glad I ran into you. I meant to ask, do you want to be certified in the use of enhanced interrogation techniques? And I had never heard that term before. I said, what's that mean? He goes,
We're going to start getting rough with these guys.
and I said, well, what does that mean? And he said, well, we're going to do, and he listed these 10 techniques,
Waterboarding and sleep deprivation and...
smack in the face and all these different kinds of things.
I said, that sounds like a torture program to me.
And he goes,
No, it's not torture.
and I said, hey, I just got approached and asked if I wanted to be certified in these enhanced interrogation techniques. What do you think of that? And he said, first of all, let's call a spade a spade.
This is a torture program.
That were never authorized by the Justice Department or by the president. You can't force,
Hummus up someone's rectum.
for example, right? You can't play,
Russian roulette with them.
you can't, they learned Abu Zubaydah had an irrational fear of insects. And so they put him in a coffin
And they dumped a box of cockroaches in there with him.
and then closed the coffin.
And they left him in there for 10 days just with a diaper.
Another thing that Vault 7 taught us was that the CIA developed the capability to
Take over your car
remotely by hacking into the car's computer system.
to drive you off a bridge.
And so, what the Israelis did was they were able to activate the explosives.
In all the pagers simultaneously.
They killed everybody of any import in Hezbollah. They essentially decapitated Hezbollah. And then the ones they didn't kill in that operation,
They bombed the apartment buildings where they lived.
see, this is the thing too about the Israelis. If they want to kill you, they won't like just do a close-in hit.
They'll blow up the entire city block. They'll kill 1,000 people just to get you.
Well, we have a special guest
That's going to come to the party tonight.
And then Joe Biden comes.
He was vice president at the time.
So Biden comes, and Biden was exactly the opposite of Kerry. Biden's standing at the entrance to the backyard, or to the side yard. He goes, "Hey!" like this. Everybody's like, "Hey, Mr. Vice President, good to see you." So he comes down and starts shaking hands with everybody, one at a time. Great eye contact. Hi, Joe Biden. Tell me your name again. You know, that kind of thing. I said, "Mr. Vice President, we've met a number of times. You probably don't remember me. I'm from Newcastle, Pennsylvania, and my dad was best friends with Angelo Sands." He goes, "Angelo Sands from 7th grade?" And I said, "Yeah, your best friend from 7th grade." He says, "I do remember you. We talked about it. Angelo's a taxi driver in Las Vegas now." I said, "That's right. He is a taxi driver. Great memory." I said, "That conversation was 15 years ago." And then he says to the guy next to me, "I remember you."
I don't like you.
And he looks at Kerry, and Kerry just like, "I don't like him either."
And they walk away.
I said to the guy, what the fuck?
He said, "Biden has..."